The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Freedom March is powered by BTC.
Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Last night, in the Pinewood Garden constituency, just across from the East Street South Police Station, is a gas station. And according to all reports, a Negro gunman, well armed, invaded the gas station. When it was over, he is alleged to have shot a gas station attendant in his face. It was a very tragic incident that left many of the other staffs in disbelief. And I'm advised that senior management had to bring in counsel for the staff, who was very devastated over what took place. We are further advised that there could have been a mistaken identity. It is alleged that because the government has been encouraging men who are still in prison to come out to work, and they have been working at many of the gas stations, men who are suspected of having committed murder and are serious crimes. They have been targeted, and you would recall that we have had an incident at a gas station where a man who was still in custody was working at a gas station and someone executed him. So it is a tragic incident, and for many people, they were shocked that the gunman would be so bold and just cross the street from where the police is approximately 100 feet away. That is what I'm being told. So it's still a very serious matter, and I shall continue to call for the government to declare a state of emergency and introduce martial law and give the police the necessary powers to arrest. My spiritual advisor has been moved by the crimes that are taking place, and so I'm going to invite him to pray. Bradley Roll, behold the people.
Thanks so much, Sandra. Good to be here. All right, so let's pray quickly. Father, we're so grateful for this day. Father, we thank you so much for all of your blessings that you've given us. Father, we desperately need your wisdom. You have given us a great country founded on principles and truths from your word. We need men and women who will honor you, who will trust you, and lead us once again back to you. We pray for servant leaders who love the things you love and who care more about others than themselves, and more importantly, those who really care about our country. Give us leaders with discerning hearts, bold faith and wise minds that model your character. Teach them, Father, not just what is good, but what is best, Father. Guide them in the way our country should go. Give them purity and good intentions, godliness in their convictions, Father. And energize their spirits and bodies physically, and keep them emotionally secure in the knowledge of who you are and whose they are. Father, I pray that you brighten their minds and energize their hearts and give them courage to do the right thing. Father, raise up leaders with great potential, godly leadership, those who can illuminate the minds of our people and heal the delusional. Father, you alone hold the power to turn the hearts of our leaders. But listen, we pray that you would listen to our prayer, and we pray that you would move by our thoughts and our actions. Help us to be faithful and to care and pursue what is right. These favors and blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
And I thank you, my spiritual advisor. Let's pay a little ad, so we'll see what BTC tells us. BTC fiber internet is now faster, stronger, and more available in more and more neighborhoods. Now in 80% of New Providence and Grand Bahama and counting, BTC fiber internet connects you constantly to everything you love at the best price. In the Bahamas, enjoy fiber internet, phone and TV for just $99. Just $99.99 plus VAT. Sign up today at btcbahamas.com. BTC's new fiber internet plans come with the same upload and download speed up to 1 gig. Get fiber internet, phone, and TV at an unbeatable price of $99.99 plus VAT. BTC is still powerful, and it powers Freedom March. Welcome back. Well, folks, the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union is holding a special meeting tonight at Workers House, in which it wants all union workers, but particularly workers employed at Atlantis, to attend the meeting, because there is a major dispute taking place between the union and Atlantis over payments of the workers. And the union has alleged that Atlantis has been anti-workers, anti-Bahamians, and that they have not been fair, and they are refusing to share the wealth with the Bahamian workers, notwithstanding the fact that Atlantis has been very, very successful in making millions of dollars, but they are not sharing the wealth with the workers. So the hotel union wants all hotel workers to attend tonight's meeting starting at 7 p.m. Workers House on Tonic Darling Boulevard, but they're emphasizing that they want Atlanta's workers to be there to help, to demand, agitate for the monies, and that is powerful. Well, the House of Assembly met this morning. The Free National Movement had promised that they would protest outside the Parliament, and it is alleged that a number of officers were at the Parliament protesting. And so we have been advised that the protest was led by the opposition leader, Michael Pintard, Dr. Dwayne Sands, and quite a number of parliamentarians and a number of members. So we are told that they stood in Rawson Square, near the bleachers. You know, there's lots of bleachers in Rawson Square, in preparation for Thursday night's Junkanoo. As you are aware, Junior Junkanoo will take place tomorrow, and so that is where the FNM is alleged to have protested. And then, of course, Parliament had convened, and it is to be noted that Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis had moved an amendment to the Bail Act. This is highly significant if we are to combat the increase in crime and the abuse by persons on bail who, notwithstanding that they have been granted bail, they continue to re-offend. Notwithstanding that they have been granted bail, they continue to disobey the conditions which are set. Very reasonable conditions have been set, but it continues to be abused, and law enforcement continue to complain that notwithstanding that they have identified the suspects, investigated the complaints against them, take them to court, the court continue to grant bails, and the next thing they know, the prisoner, who's now a free man, he re-offends, and by his re-offending, it could either be another rape, another robbery, another murder or two. And so it is like a revolving, cycle. So the Prime Minister has moved to amend the Bail Act, which I think is very significant. So I'll read it to you. As part of the government's strategy to combat crime, Prime Minister Philip Davis announced today that the Bail Act will be amended to ensure that bail is automatically revoked for suspects who violate the conditions of the bail. I am also announcing, says the Prime Minister, significant amendments to the Bail Act. Davis said in the House of Assembly as he presented a communication on crime. Bail is a constitutional right, says the Prime Minister, but not a right to be abused. There is a fundamental right to be presumed innocent, but the liberty that accompanies the presumption is not absolute, especially when someone poses a danger to society and to themselves. The Prime Minister went on to say, and I quote, "Our amendment will ensure that bail is automatically revoked to those accused persons who commit offenses while on bail. This indicates those found to be in violation of the condition of their bail, which is an offense. Under the amendment, multiple people on bail for serious crimes have either been murdered or have been accused of committing other serious crimes. So far this year, 17 people have been murdered. Last week, the government released 5 pillar plans to fight crime, which includes measures like tougher legislation for gang activity and a focus on school policing. Davis said today the Bahamas should expect to see more saturation patrol. This is a fight that we have to win, he added. So that is what has taken place. It's a very significant move on the part of the government to combat the increase in crime and particularly murder. So there is an amendment, my spiritual advisor, to the Bail Act, which Prime Minister Philip Davis has introduced this morning.
Yeah, interesting. I think some folks, there were a lot of residents who were calling for that, especially for those men who were, either charged with certain crimes and they got bail, end up on the streets, commit another serious crime, go through the court system, get bail, end up doing another serious crime, go through the court system, get bail. Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. But of course, there are going to be some who would say, well, we got to be careful how we ask for certain names because eventually it's going to infringe on your constitutional right and yada, 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 So let's see what happens,
Well, there can be no infringement on one's constitutional right because one of the conditions for the revocation of bail is if you are on bail and you reoffend, then automatically your bail is revoked.
Okay.
So if you have been granted bail for an offense, but you continue to be law-abiding going forward, not getting yourself in problem, not committing more murders, not threatening to commit murder, not attempting to commit murder, not committing rape or armed robbery, then there's nothing to be afraid of.
Be all right.
But if you are granted bail and you decide that you're going to abuse that privilege,
then it should
that
be
constitutional
revoked.
right, then it is required to be revoked.
Okay.
And that is all that the Prime Minister is saying. And if all of us learn from that, well, that's powerful. If you don't, well, your bail is revoked and you return to prison.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, there is the Adrian Gibson trial. All of us know that Adrian Gibson is the Free National Movement Member of Parliament for Long Island and the former F&M Chairman of the Water and Sewerage Corporation. And you will recall that Mr. Gibson has been charged for many, many counts of corruption. And it's an interesting case taking place. And so we want to keep members of the public up to date on these crimes that are being alleged against Mr. Gibson and the evidence that is coming out of the trial. So we have a person who testified, and this person said, and I quote, "I was fired for following rules. Adrian Gibson trial hears claim of Water and Sewerage Corporation manager termination." So as Adrian Gibson criminal trial resumed yesterday, a Water and Sewerage Corporation manager claimed she was, quote, terminated, end quote, after refusing to pay companies awarded landscaping contract because she lacked necessary documentation. So this is one of the allegations that has emerged, that she testified that she didn't pay one of the companies or some of the companies because she didn't have the necessary documents. And when she refused to pay and she was ordered to pay and she didn't listen, she got fired. So it's a powerful revelation coming out of our courts. So her name is Maynes Kagel Sheman, who is on secondment to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, told jurors she was terminated twice between 2018 and 2021 when Adrian Gibson was Water and Sewerage Corporation Executive Chairman. The Water and Sewerage Corporation employee, the corporation's human resources manager at the time, claimed she was removed from her post in 2018 and reassigned elsewhere after refusing to follow the instruction of the boss and former Water and Sewerage Corporation manager Elwood Donaldson Jr. You would recall that Elwood Donaldson Sr., he passed away. We look at Adrian Gibson case. You look at the counts of corruption, the allegations taking place in our court, and the termination when the woman refused to follow orders. This is Freedom March. God save the Commandant of the Bahamas. God save King Charles III. God save workers who follow the law. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and of course, when we took the adjournment, I was telling you how the Free National Movement Member of Parliament for Long Island, the Honorable Adrian Gibson, he is on trial for many counts of corruption, him and a number of Negro citizens. And yesterday, a former officer at the Water and Sewerage Corporation, she was fired in 2018 for refusing to pay one of the alleged contractors. So this is the evidence that she has given as the trial continues. So I just want to, we over the last couple of days, the Adrian Gibson trial just dropped, and many of us were not following it. And it's a very important trial to follow in view of the fact of the many, many interesting characteristics that are involved. So let's look at it. The Water and Sewerage Corporation employee, She's a manager. At the time, she claimed she was removed from her post in 2018 and reassigned elsewhere after refusing to follow the instructions of the boss and former Water and Sewage Corporation manager, Ellsworth Donaldson Jr. Mr. Donaldson is one of 6 people on trial in the case. Ms. Cargill Sherman said Mr. Donaldson presented her with an email in July of 2018 from the executive chairman, Mr. Adrian Gibson, who directed the corporation to end existing landscaping contracts with vendors. Ms. Cargill Sherman said Mr. Gibson requested to have the contracts awarded to companies named in the email, including Elite Maintenance, Adams Landscaping, and Spectacular. She said Mr. Donaldson allegedly told her to triple the first payment of each contract and to reflect the amendments on the corporation's payment spreadsheet. It's powerful. Acting Director of Public Prosecution and Crown Prosecutor Cordell Fraser, that's a woman, asked her if she was given reason why the payments had to be tripled. She said she was not. Nonetheless, Mrs. Cargill Sherman testified that she reluctantly followed Mr. Donaldson's instruction. She told the court that annual payments to Elite Maintenance jumped from $14,000 to $60.9 thousand. Is that connecting? Oh, no, that's concerning. Concerning Adams Landscaping, she said the annual cost was initially $10,950, but jumped to $27,600 after 3 adjustments. She also recalled when Edward Donaldson Jr. asked her to pay the vendors immediately back in November 2018. Mrs. Cargill Sherman said she didn't have the documentation to prove the work was done and informed Mr. Donaldson of her concerns. She said normally one would get an invoice from the contractor and an inspector to confirm the work was satisfactorily done. She said she refused to pay without getting the documents. She said she was relieved from overseeing landscape contracts shortly afterwards. She said she remained at the corporation but was reassigned. She said her second reassignment happened in January of 2021 when Mr. Donaldson told her he wanted her to leave the Water and Sewage Corporation's safety department, where she served as safety manager. She said no one explained the change. Discussing events that led to that event, she recalled receiving an email from Mr. Donaldson, who allegedly directed that the contract awarded to Elite Maintenance be terminated and transferred to Baha Maintenance. She said she contacted contractors to sign the necessary documents and to go on a tour at the Water and Sewage Corporation's policy. So this is what is happening in our court. My spiritual advisor, Elwood Donaldson Jr. He has removed her after she refused to pay. So it's powerful.
Her refusal for paying, she explained that the companies didn't have proper documentation?
She was not satisfied, but Elwood Donaldson, who's the manager,
right.
He instructed her nevertheless to pay.
Now, these documentations, you have any ideas what they could be? Because if the company is contracted to do work, it has to be a legitimate company with a business license. Then they would have had to satisfy the government with tax compliance and, of course, proper invoicing. So what you think could have gone wrong that she might have refused to pay? Because I can tell you normally, as a previous government contractor, if your tax compliance certificate is not up to date, you don't get paid. They don't pay you. You have to produce what is called a current tax compliance certificate, which means that you would have satisfied the government that you don't owe any taxes as far as national insurance. And that's one of the things that's always an issue with companies having to be up to date with the NIB.
But that was not the issue.
Okay.
The
so
issue
what was
it? She wanted proof that the work was done.
Oh, okay.
If you are...
So she wanted proof that the work is done. So who's the site inspector?
Well, that's the point she was making. She was setting the condition to pay. If you're going to pay, you have to have documentary evidence that the work has been done. Mm-hmm. The site inspector also has to provide the necessary evidence that he has inspected and find the work done.
Right.
You follow my point? She was not satisfied. That they have met that criteria.
Right.
And then, of course, she was under pressure to ignore it
and just pay.
Based on the general manager.
Right. And I think you also mentioned where there were some increases in payments. Why will payments have to be increased from 14,000? I'm just using this as an example, just hypothetically speaking, from 14 to 28,000. So was it because they weren't paid a particular amount at some point and they were owed these monies? Or
well, we have to look at what evidence we have so far so as not to speculate.
Okay.
Instruction was given to pay triple.
Pay triple?
Yeah.
Times the amount?
Yeah.
Wow. So you think they were owed 3 months?
Listen to what I just said. This is a criminal case. We do not.
I'm just trying to be, you know.
But listen to my explanation. We don't want to speculate.
Okay.
All we want to do is look at the evidence that has been produced. Management say pay triple. Okay? So if you are a manager under the F&M.
But be careful now, don't do it that way. Just...
My spiritual advisor.
I know you go, man. You always trying to
It's
look
amazing.
for me. Let's just look at what's before us. You read something, right?
We're doing that.
Okay.
So if you are an F&M, if you're a manager under the F&M, right, and you are instructed, pay triple, right? That is the instruction she was given, and she rebelled.
What is her name? How do you spell her first name? This name sounds familiar to me.
She sounds like a person who went to school with you.
Yeah.
Sounds
like a SOC student.
Everything about her smell like sock.
Yeah, you know how we go. We
You know how
like to
you
make
go.
sure things are right before we do things. You see what I'm saying?
She
Now,
spells her first name capital M-Y-N-E-Z.
that's Minus. I know her. Yes.
Remember Minus Cargill?
That's Minus Cargill.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
family to Boy Cargill.
The fellow from NIB who used to be in charge of NIB.
Stop identifying people. Used to be talking in parable, eh?
I know her.
Next thing you know, the
Yeah, I
man's
went to school with her.
name.
She graduated
Right.
probably a year or two ahead of me.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so,
okay. She's a brilliant girl, you know.
very brilliant, and she was up against brilliant people who insisted that she pay the worker triple, but there was no evidence that they did
It should be done that way.
triple work.
Yeah.
You follow my point?
Okay.
And her faithfulness caused her to lose her job. Now, had she just obeyed and paid as they instruct her to pay,
Then she probably been before the courts just like they are. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying?
or she would have been a big thing still.
So,
So that is what is happening. It's a very interesting case that is taking place. So that is the trial that is taking place in our courts,
okay.
where Minus Sherman, she has stood her ground. She's demanded that she ain't gonna pay unless they produce the evidence to show that the work has been done. And that's the way it's done. If you are working for the government, depending on what kind of contract you have, there has to be evidence that the landscaping was done, the bush was cut, the lawns were mowed, and so forth. Okay?
So where was this project?
You know,
The actual grounds itself?
I
What
don't
is
want
those
you-
grounds?
I don't want you to ask me because, you know, I'm an F&M, and I'm not sure I want to reveal.
What does the report say?
Well, let's
I'm
wait,
trying to figure this place out.
let's wait for the
Because, you know, I'm in the landscaping business. I can tell you what is worth and what should be
No, no,
paid
no,
off.
no. Remember, we are only to go by what evidence comes out.
Okay. All right.
We're not to speculate. We're not to add.
Okay.
You follow my point?
Okay.
Whatever evidence they give, we can take that evidence,
Okay.
analyze it, and tear it to pieces. But if we add to it,
It's a problem.
that's a problem.
Okay.
All right? And we don't want to be
Be in contempt of court.
Contempt of court.
Okay.
All right? But this
Okay, Sandra.
case that is, it's a wonderful case. It's a beautiful piece of case, right? And what I like is how maintenance jumped from $14,000 to $66.9,000. Is that 66
What is 66.9?
or is that 60.9? What does that
I
say?
guess $60,900.
Yeah, from 14,000.
14,000.
So they must-
14K, yeah.
So they must have
It's
been,
60.9K. So it jumped from 14,000 to $60,900.
they must have been working very hard.
What could have caused such a jump?
Well, look,
Was
if,
the job underestimated, maybe?
if you're the manager, right, and you say, listen, pay triple, the
There
manager
has
must
to be
have,
justification, though.
huh?
There has to be justification
Well,
for
she
that.
demanded
you know?
justification,
Yeah, man. You
but-
just can't do it that way. It doesn't work like that, you know?
Okay.
But, I tell you.
Yeah.
Shoo, shoo, shoo.
So,
It's going to be a very interesting trial.
yeah, it's a wonderful trial. People love this trial, and so it's a long trial, and there are so many things in this trial. So we'll see what's going on,
All right.
and of course,
This is day one?
that Mr. Gibson, is charged with Elbert Donaldson Jr.
How many counts?
He's also charged with Miss Peaches Farquharson. He's charged with Rasheen Gibson, Joan Knowles, I think Joan is his campaign manager, and Jerome Missick. Together, the group faces 98 charges, including conspiracy to commit bribery, fraud, receiving, and of course, money laundering. They have denied all of the allegation, and Mr. Gomez, that's Damien Gomez, the former PLP State Minister for Justice. He is a part of the defense team. He, along with Maurice, or should I say, Maurice, pronounce that name for me. That's
Murillo.
Along
Murillo
with
Ducil.
Murillo Ducil, Brian Bastian, Raphael Moxie, Christina Calanas, Ian Cargill, and Donald Saunders. They represent the defendants. Meanwhile, Miss Fraser, that's the Director of Public Prosecution, Kashina Thompson, and who's this? Karen McVinero, the Crown's prosecutor, So it's a very interesting case, and the democracy continues. So that's what's going on, okay? So let's continue to follow this case. I love this case. This case demonstrates that there is a lot of political power at play. And of course, notwithstanding the political power, there is the rule of law. So a court can summons you and ask you to justify your conduct. And once you can justify it and show the court that everything was done to the best of your abilities and in accordance with the law, that's it. So we thought we will tell that to you. How to sound my spiritual advisor.
All right, we're moving on.
So that's one of the things that has happened today. Let's see what else is happening. Yeah. So we had some incident in Grand Bahama. Was there a shooting in Grand Bahama last night?
I don't remember. I haven't heard, to be
Okay,
honest.
well, let's see what we're hearing. They say that 3 taken to hospital after shooting in Grand Bahama and New Providence. A 64-year-old Freeport man is in hospital, and 2 men are in custody following a shooting incident in Freeport on Tuesday. Was yesterday Tuesday?
Yes, it was.
Tuesday evening, while 2 males were shot in New Providence. And this is according to Assistant Superintendent of Police Stephen Roll, said police received a report about 7:20 p.m. of a shooting at Oleander Street. On arrival at the scene, officers found an adult male suffering from an apparent gunshot wound to his left shoulder. Mr. Rose said the victim told police that he and a male suspect known to him were involved in an altercation and he was shot in the shoulder. Well, my spiritual advisor will tell you what the United States authorities are warning their citizens. Are you ready to tell us?
Yeah, I think they did. Let me see if I can find it.
Apparently,
I think we do have it someplace in the system. Mr. Medusa, did you see that? Did you see that travel advisory? Maybe, can I read it from the screen? I'm trying to see if. Let me see. Where can I find it? There was a travel advisory released by the American Embassy. Yes, the security alert, U.S. Embassy, the Bahamas, January 24, 2023. Apparently, oh, okay. What is today's date?
Today is the 24th of January.
But the problem is, what year is this?
2024.
Right. All right. So that isn't for us.
What is not for us?
That advisory.
Oh, so you have the wrong advisory?
Not whoever put it there. That's not for us.
Okay, so it's not for the Bahamas.
It's not. It was for the Bahamas. It was 1 year ago. I don't know why that ended up. People are just full of mischief. I don't know why.
So they're sending you.
People are sending around.
Bogus.
That is. It's been circulating all over the place,
Well,
right?
my spiritual advisor, you must put on the full.
When you look at the
armor.
date, you see that the date.
Okay.
The date's the 24th of January, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But the year.
So the U.S. has not sent an advisory.
No, that the year on it is not correct.
Okay, well, so I'm happy that the spiritual advisor is correcting the misinformation which was sent to him
Yeah, that's saying
Yeah.
That's saying
Okay, if it's not, take it off. If it's not an advisory,
let me see.
we will not be a part of the propaganda.
Let's see something. Let's see something here.
Yeah.
Let's read this. Let me see something
If
here.
it is not,
Now, it does have a 2024 in it.
my spiritual advisor, don't read it. Take your time, read it privately, get it correct. I will not be a part of F&M propaganda.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
If you have a
Let me ask you, how many murders has taken place so far for the year?
it is alleged that there has been about 17 that we know of.
Right.
Right.
So, the young man that got shot last night, was it fatal?
No, it was not fatal.
Okay. So we're still at 17 then.
Yes.
All right, we're going to have to look at this a bit more closely. There is a 2024 on there.
What
and
do
it's
you mean
actually
with the
saying,
2024?
in the body of the letter, it's saying there were 18 murders that took place in the month of January of 2024.
Well, that sounds like a statement, my spiritual advisor.
Yeah.
Come on, you went to St. Augustine College.
But listen to, man, you see, you ain't looking at it and you starting to run on. All right?
You read better than I do. Don't you?
Listen, let me tell you what I see.
Read to me what you see.
Here's what I
Since you
see.
won't put it on the PLB. Go ahead.
Here's what I see. There's a security alert, U.S. Embassy in Nassau, Bahamas, January the 24th, and it has 2023. But here's the body.
It's 2023.
Yeah, but here's what the body says.
2023. Do not read 2023. Let's make the Americans correct their damn date.
Okay,
All right?
okay.
All right.
So there's 2023 at one point, and there's 2024 in the body. You see, as you see, it says murders. It says in event. The U.S. Embassy in Nassau advises U.S. citizens to be aware that 18 murders have occurred in Nassau since the beginning of 2024. Murders have occurred at all hours, including in broad daylight on the streets. Retaliatory gang violence has been the primary motive in 2024 murders. And then they say actions to take, exercise extreme caution. Now this is what I understand. It talks about they want their residents or citizens to take extreme caution in the eastern part of New Providence. Now, I don't understand that.
Just read it and I will interpret it.
Okay.
Read the story to me and I'll interpret
It says in the eastern part of New Providence Island, Nassau, use caution when walking or driving at night, keep a low profile, be aware of your surroundings, do not physically resist any robbery attempts, and review your personal security plans. We need to see if this is officially from the
Are you reading the article or you can't
That's
make
it.
up your mind?
That's it. I'm finished reading it.
Okay, and it doesn't say who's the author? It doesn't say it comes from the U.S. Embassy. It doesn't say it comes from the FBI, the CIA, the DEA. It doesn't? Goodness of mercy. No? It doesn't, my spiritual advisor?
Yes, it is coming from the U.S. Embassy.
Goodness of
I understand it is official.
Well, if it comes from the U.S. Embassy, then read it. Let me hear what the Americans are saying.
Man, you know,
But
Santa, don't be fair, please. Don't do that to me, man. Okay?
What don't do to you?
Just don't. No, not today.
It was disjointed.
It'll be a bad day to do that to me, okay?
Okay.
All right, don't do that to me. All right?
Okay. So the Americans
So-
want you to watch out when you're in the eastern part of the island.
Yes. But the eastern portion of the island.
Yeah, that's a terrible part of the island.
Not the eastern part.
Yes,
this isn't
my
where,
spiritual
but this
advisor.
isn't where the murders are taking
That
place.
isn't true. There's lots of murder in the eastern part of the island. The Americans knows.
Stop that, man. It's not the eastern part.
But straighten them up when they come back. This has been a match. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the eastern part of the island.
Now you see what you're doing?
God save the island of New Providence. God save King Charles III. You'll be right back. The Americans say it's the eastern part. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. And it is birthday time.
Here we got a few birthdays, a few birthday wishes today. Let's see. Okay, yeah. We got to wish Miss Deidre Higgs. We understand she's celebrating her birthday today. Coming from the Hadley Park Church of Christ. She's a beautiful sister and educator. Happy birthday, Deidre. Coming from your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, and the entire Church of Christ family. They want to wish you a very special birthday. So we hope you enjoyed your B-Day. And then, of course, we hope you live to enjoy many, many more. So happy birthday, Deidre. This is Whitney Hasty, sister, the former CEO of BPL. All right, Sandra?
Yes, sir.
All right, so who do we have next? Okay, then this young man, we want to wish this young man a happy birthday. Happy birthday to Dr. Jonathan. You sent that? This you?
Go ahead, my
Okay, happy birthday to Dr. Jonathan Sanders. It's from his mom, Shiria, dad, Harry, brother, McNeil, sister, Angela, aunt, Shania, or Shani, Carla, Tonette, and your uncle, Derek Davis. Okay, so happy birthday to Jonathan Sanders, coming from his uncle, Derek Davis. You know Derek Davis, Angela?
I do.
Okay, great. And let's see, that's all the... Is that all the birthdays we have for today? Seem to be very short. All right, so listen, we understand that communication from the United States Embassy is quite correct. And it is on their website.
What communication from the U.S. Embassy is correct?
The whole thing, even though the
Repeat
date...
what it was. Just say what it was.
I'll have to find it again. I closed my phone just now.
Okay.
All right, but the information I did, all right, I find it now. It says the Security Alert U.S. Embassy, the Bahamas, January 24, 2024, location, Nassau, Bahamas. The U.S. Embassy in Nassau advises U.S. citizens to be aware that 18 murders occurred in Nassau since the beginning of 2024. Murders have occurred at all hours, including in broad daylight on the streets. Retaliatory gang violence has been the primary motive in these 2024 murders. Actions to take in the event. Exercise extreme caution in the eastern part of New Providence. That's the island. And then they have in brackets Nassau. Use caution when walking on or driving at night. Keep a low profile. Beware of your surroundings. Do not physically resist any robbery attempt, and review your personal security plans. All right, so that's coming from the U.S. Embassy. Well, you kind of figured that would soon happen, but and for assistance to those who the U.S. Embassy is located at number 42 Crane Street, Nassau, Bahamas, and there's a local number that you can call, 1-242-322-1181. All right, so it's official, and we kind of figured what was going to happen. So now we have to just watch this advisory, because I'm thinking now if it doesn't improve, then there'll be another advisory that will probably be released at some point or the other. Anyhow, thank you so much, Mr. Medusa. Back to you, Sandra.
Well, a man was charged with last week murder at Parkgate Road. 33-year-old man was remanded in custody yesterday after he allegedly murdered a man who was on bail for murder on Parkgate Road. The victim's murder trial was supposed to begin on the same day his alleged killer was arraigned in the court. So Sidney Hart was charged with murder before Acting Chief Magistrate Roberta Reckley. Hart and an accomplice in a white Japanese vehicle pulled up beside 25-year-old Jason Lamb's vehicle, and it was stopped on Parkgate Road and Village Road on January 17. The accused allegedly opened fire on Lamb's car before speeding away from the scene. The victim was later pronounced dead. Before his death, Lamb was accused of the murder of Antonio Russell on Bernard Road in March or on March 1st, 2021, Hart was told that his case would be moved to the Supreme Court by a voluntary bill of indictment. He will be sent to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services until the higher court grants him bail. The defendant's VBI, that's voluntary bill of indictment, is due for service on March 25th. So Sidney Hart has been charged for the murder of Lamb. You will recall that on the 17th, Lamb was executed on Parkgate Road and Village Road, and of course using highly sophisticated technology, the police was able to locate Hart, and he has since been arraigned in court, and he's been remanded to the King's Prison, subject to him going before a judge to be granted bail. But this morning, Prime Minister Philip Davis has moved an amendment to the Bail Act, although the Prime Minister recognizes citizens' constitutional right to a bail. He has pointed out that no citizen has a right to abuse the process, and so certain conditions are being set in this amendment, and I would hope that everybody would attempt to pass by the House of Assembly, get a copy of the proposed amendment, read it, study it, and perhaps make a recommendation. If you're not totally pleased with how the government is going to proceed with the amendment, there's nothing that stops you from writing a little note to the Prime Minister, pointing out how you think the bail amendment could be strengthened, or alternatively writing your Member of Parliament and pointing out to your Member of Parliament how you think the bail amendment could be strengthened. And so essentially that is what is needed in the country, because most people have been abusing the bail process. And when we look at how bail is granted, it's just terrible, because we have some people who are on bail for more than 3 murders. And certainly, if you're on bail for 1 murder, it's scandalous. So we thought we would tell that to you for what it is worth. My spiritual advisor?
No comments.
You have no comments?
No
okay,
comments.
So let's see what else that we may have as we talk about the many crimes that is taking place here in the Bahamas.
No, there was a very strong police presence on the streets this morning. That's something I haven't seen for a long time, and I don't know. I wonder if it was police officers as well as Defense Force officers, because some of the weapons that I saw seemed to be some very high-powered weapons. No doubt something is happening, which is good. And they're setting up like near roundabouts and certain street corners. I noticed there were some police officers at the intersection of Prince Charles and Beatrice Drive, and I did notice that they were stopping these little motorcycles that don't have these license plates on them, and that's one of the things that I talked about the other day. There's just so many of these little motorcycles around, and these guys are just darting into the traffic, making it very unsafe for drivers, with the wheeling and all the stuff that they do. That's just breaking all the street laws, to be honest. So when I saw that this morning, that was rather encouraging. So, you know, if they could do this and be consistent with this, it does seem as that they can do it 5 days of the week, but they don't seem to be able to do it on the weekends, and I can understand why. Maybe that could just kind of stop some of the things that's going on, maybe. But the mere fact that you had a very strong police presence on the streets this morning, I mean, it says a lot that this is something that could be done. To just, I don't know if it's going to help, but it can really be like intimidation factor for the fellow who may decide he can travel early morning with his gun or whatever have you. But I was impressed with that. I was rather impressed with the police presence.
But I would be more impressed if the police would stop the Japanese vehicles.
That's what they do.
But you spoke of motorbikes.
There were some Japanese cars that they stopped.
They stopped some Japanese cars?
Yes. There are people who didn't have
Any
license.
was silver?
No, I saw a white Nissan March that they had stopped. I saw kind of like a pinkish color March that they stopped. I saw a goldish color.
None was silver?
Why silver?
What do you mean, why silver?
Yeah, why silver?
Don't you know it's the silver Japanese cars that has been doing a lot of terrorization?
It's silver Japanese cars?
Some are silver.
Yeah.
I want all silver cars.
I ain't never seen a car rob nobody yet. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you saw a motorbike rob people?
No.
So what the heck, what you talking about? Huh? We're talking about people using
Okay, never say that.
Relax. We're talking about certain vehicles which has been used to commit crimes.
Right.
And we know that the cars that the police need to stop. I want the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Commissioner, I beg of you, stop every Japanese car on the island of New Providence. It's a Japanese car. Every time I see a Japanese car, I'm very upset. I keep wondering, who the hell is in this Japanese car? And I think we can do a tremendous job if every Japanese car, all right, and we'll tell the drivers, if you see the police and you're driving in a Japanese car, just go and park, raise up your two hands and jump outside. It's a Japanese car.
Yeah, but you don't want to create that kind of environment because not everybody just give me a second.
Go ahead.
Not everyone who drives a Japanese vehicle is involved in illegal activity.
Who do you know that...
Remember now.
Who do you know that is driving a Japanese car who's not involved?
Me. I'm driving temporarily a Japanese vehicle.
You in a Japanese car?
Yeah,
My
and the thing
special
what I
advisor?
drive on a note.
Is it brown? Why are you laughing?
It is brown.
It's a brown car?
Yeah.
I know what your car's stop.
But it has an SD plate on it though. All right, it's a friend of mine's car. He loaned it to me to do some business for him. All right. So whenever I'm doing business with him, he let me use this particular car.
Really?
Yeah. All right. He's a legitimate businessman. G&M Auto. Renault.
Yeah, he is a legitimate
Mr. Brian Higgs.
But
Mr. Brian Higgs is a legitimate businessman.
okay,
And there are times when I do business for him.
okay.
All right. But here's what I'm saying though. What has happened? Here's what has happened economically for the Bahamians, which is good, that the average Bahamian cannot afford a 30 or 40,000 car from the dealerships here in the Bahamas.
What is your point?
So my point is what has happened over the years is those ships that bring those 1,600 or 1,800 vehicles through the Caribbean, through Jamaica and other Caribbean countries and then the Bahamas, you know, it's convenient, not only convenient, but it's more economical and affordable, where you can save $5,000 basically in about 6 months.
Yeah, but what is the point?
And
What
the
is
point is, I'm
you're
saying the
making?
reason why Bahamas, the streets are flooded with Japanese vehicles because they're affordable.
No, that is not the concern that I have.
Yeah, they're
I'm talking
affordable.
about
It's
the
just
fact-
unfortunate that a lot of the criminals who are doing these crazy things use those vehicles as well.
and
That's just unfortunate.
And therefore, we must stop them.
You know, Mama.
Every person in a Japanese car, we need to stop them. I want the police to stop every
Yeah, but
Japanese
I don't know
car.
if that won't be nice to do that. You
My
know,
spiritual advisor, why
you're
every
stopping
time?
people who are innocent.
My spiritual advisor,
you know.
I have declared a state of emergency.
Now I can tell you.
Every person, particularly members of the Negro people, in a Japanese car, I want it stopped. Okay? Because every time I listen to the news, they say it's a Japanese car.
Yeah. But
Okay.
you can always tell when you need to stop a car.
Really?
Yeah, man.
How do
Now,
you
I
know?
don't want to make it seem as if I'm getting into profiling.
Tell me how.
What's the word? What do they call it? They use a certain terminology, say racial profiling. I don't want to make
I
it seem
believe in
like-
racial profiling.
Yeah, well, give me a second. I don't know if I don't call it that, right? But here's what happens. They're just some young men who are just rolling around in these Japanese vehicles, and they're actually dressed a certain way, and they have their hair fixed a certain way.
Are these Japanese
And-
people?
No. And normally when you, especially in the morning, when you see they like roll their windows down, they just roll it down just a bit to get some air.
Okay.
They don't want you to see who's inside the car.
Really?
Yeah, they just bring the windows down just enough to just to peek the head over to look outside.
Really?
Yeah, stop that car. Especially if you see a bunch of smoke coming out the window, because that's what is happening early in the morning. It's smoke dope. First thing in the morning, they light up a spliff. Yeah, stop those vehicles. But I don't want to make it seem as I'm trying to lead into this.
You do not believe in racial profile?
Sometimes you could be wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Mr. Spiritual advisor.
Not everybody is guilty of these crimes.
Spiritual
That's
advisor.
the only problem.
Your problem is you live in a predominantly black society.
Yeah.
Do you concede that point?
Yeah. 95%, I think,
Do you agree that the majority of the people who are committing murders,
are black.
do you agree that the majority of the victims are?
Black. A lot of people being killed are black
Do
people.
you believe that all the people who are driving these Japanese cars in the Bahamas are not Japanese?
No, they're not Japanese.
They're Negroes.
But some Chinese drive them too.
Well, we will stop the Chinese because the Chinese is one stage
Oh, yeah, some
next to the
Chinese drive them.
Negroes. So all I'm saying
But
to
the
you
police
is
knows what to do. They know who to stop and who to look for.
we can tell the police
let's don't
who to
get
stop.
involved in
No.
that.
What you mean no getting it?
No, we can't get.
We
Sandra,
have
we're
to
not trained for that.
I am trained for that.
You're radio.
I'm the
talk show host,
son.
Sandra.
I'm the son of a policeman. It's in my lines. All right. I want the police to do racial profiling. It's very easy. You look to see if I'm a Negro.
That may be discrimination. They may
There may
pull a case in court on you.
No, it is not discrimination in the Bahamas. If you're in America and they say it's a Negro, that's discrimination. Because in America they have redneck. I'm not a redneck. You're not a redneck. All right?
Yeah.
So in the Bahamas, we are allowed to do racial profiling. We know that the people who are committing these crimes are black. So it'd be stupid to be running behind a Conky Joe man. If I see a Conky Joe man speeding from Outer Bay in town, what the hell am I following him for?
Yeah.
Huh?
But the police know. Like if you see a Honda.
Oh, your guys are
give me a
so
second.
racist.
If you see a Honda with
Y'all are so racist.
4 or 5 fellas in it, yeah, stop that. Stop that car.
No!
4 or 5 young fellas
You
in
have
that car. Stop it.
The last
Stop that car. Pull it
drive
over.
by, there was only 2 Negroes in the car.
Okay.
All right? And all that I'm saying is you have to have some racial profile in the Bahamas because the people who are doing the killing is black. For you to see a car speeding away and you say, oh, Jesus, I believe it's white people in the car, you're stupid. All right? You stop that car, it's one of us in the car.
Yeah. And,
All right.
and you know what the police need to do too? I'm wondering if they recognize this. If you set up a roadblock or a road check at a particular point, I don't know if the police recognize this, right? What you need to do is station another police officer near the how am I going to say this now? At the nearest exit, or the oncoming exit to where the roadblock is set up. Let me make sure I don't tie myself up. Because here's what's happening, right? There are some people who may be riding dirty, and they see the roadblock ahead, they turn around. So you need to have a police officer at some point, like another exit ahead from the road check, because that's how some people is end up escaping. When you have this road check, you see some fellas, they be like maybe 5 or 6 cars away. No, there's a road check. Turn around, that person get away.
The police is doing the road check incorrectly.
How so?
If the police is doing a road check, they're supposed to kill every cell phone in that area. That's how
Jam the
it's done.
signal?
You jam the signal. When you jam the signal, I am not able to send you a text and say, Bradley, the police is here.
Yeah. Because that's what happens.
All right?
That's what happens, yeah.
So that's what needs to happen. When the police is doing the special operation, they close down all cell phone communication. So nobody is able to communicate and the police is able to do it effectively. Don't forget now, I'm well trained And that's how it has to happen. You have to tell the commissioner of police he must kill the cell phone. Nobody must be able to communicate. Don't even allow the police to use cell phone. Let them use walkie-talkie and just kill it. Boom! There was a serious...
That's so difficult nowadays.
It is
with the
not
technology we
difficult.
have.
No, sir.
Sometimes, as soon as the police is going to have a road check, you'll already see it posted on social media. Listen.
That's because they have not killed the signal. You close down all cell phone communication. We do it every day. When the Americans arrive in Nassau, we cut off every phone.
Yeah.
Right? It's very easy. So that is how it has to be done. This called for top espionage, top work. Just kill the phones, all right? And no more communication. And that is how it will be done as we declare a state of emergency. I think it's powerful. So folks, the leading story today is Prime Minister Philip Rabe Davis has moved in the Honorable House of Assembly an amendment to the Bail Act. And among the provisions of this amendment is if you are on bail and you commit a crime, your bail is automatically revoked. That's the beginning of bringing law and order to the country. Nevertheless, the citizenry must push the government to move the impediment that prevents the state from executing convicted murderers. It's your solution, and once you do it, murders shall be reduced. What time is it, my spiritual advisor?
We're almost close to the call-in segment.
Okay, so
We got 2 more minutes in this segment.
this is powerful. Yeah, so what other breaking news that is taking place in the country?
We don't. I haven't checked the newspapers for the day, so
Okay,
we can open the lines though.
go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Producer, how much more time we have? We have enough time to take a call. If we could, any other lines are open. 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775 and 698-0776. You can call us. We are just ready to take some calls. You can call us if you want to. Now if you want, and we could probably entertain 1 or 2 calls before we go to the break. So the numbers to call is 323-7775, 698-0775, and 698-0776. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live. I see too that what's going to be happening.
What happened? I don't hear the person.
Okay, sorry. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Could you turn your radio down for me, please? Could you turn your radio down, please? Thank you. But go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Monker,
Yes, ma'am.
spiritual advisor.
Yes, ma'am.
How you both doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
Awesome. I would just like to send a salutation to some officers who was very professional.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's 392224,
Yes.
Constable 4074 Wright,
Yes.
okay.
Constable 4432 Miller,
Yes.
Yeah.
Inspector Evans from
Yes.
the traffic department. Listen, those officers are an epitome of what police officers
Should be.
are. Very professional.
We thank
All right,
you.
thank you so much, caller.
This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monka. Bradley Road is my spiritual advisor. We should be right back. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save law enforcement. We'll be right back after the break. Hold on, everybody. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monka, and of course, Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. Bradley, you have 1 or 2 shout-outs, do you?
Well, what we want to do at this time is we want to send a very special condolences out to the Curtis family on the passing of Dan Curtis. I didn't even recognize that he passed away. He's a family member of mine. But special condolences to the Curtis family. It's coming from the entire 103.5 FM family in Walty, and of course us here at Freedom March. Our heartfelt condolences goes to the family at this very, very challenging time. May the God of all comfort be with you and your entire family as you mourn the loss of Dan Curtis. So special condolences out to the Curtis family, of course, coming from 103.5 FM The Beat and Walty. All right.
And then, of course, there are two medical doctors.
Yes, at Doctors Hospital.
Yeah.
That we want to give a special shout out to. That's Frederick Smith and Diana Bannister. Doctors at Doctors Hospital. You want to send special shout out to them?
These are two medical doctors that Mr. Franklin Wilson, not Franklin Wilson, Mr. Franklin Ferguson, please forgive me, Mr. Franklin Ferguson, who's a stalwart counselor in the governing Progressive Liberal Party, a justice of the peace. He wants to salute them. He appeared for their services and he was so impressed, and he has requested that we salute them for him. So please call their name one more time.
You're going to salute Dr. Frederick Smith and Dr. Diane Bannister at Doctors Hospital.
And this is powerful.
All right, the line's open, 323-7775. Do us a favor, please. Could you make sure your radio, TVs, whatever, make sure they're down, please, when you call the show, because we're struggling with listening to you and the feedback in the background. So please do us that very special favor and turn your radios and TVs down. Welcome to Freedom March. Call your live.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Speak to the boss, Rodney Montgomery.
So,
So, this LA John Order here.
what is this?
This PLC all day.
Okay, what's happening?
What's going on with y'all in there? You and Rodney, what's y'all doing? Y'all behaving?
Excuse me, Mr. LH, if you're going to call this show, we want you to be respectful, okay? Like every other caller. We don't promise you calling, but if you're going to call, watch your tone. Watch your tone and just have some respect, okay?
I got to show Happy New Year to you and Rodney.
Thank you so much.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much.
I have to make sure you all hear me when I speak.
When are you going to march against these murderers?
Whenever you're ready. But you're supposed to be a part of the team to maintain top of falling down.
No, I'm not.
Okay, go to now.
No, I'm not following down. You need to get the PLP to hang. You have a good day.
All right.
Take care now. Thank you, LH. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Hey, spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Brother Micah.
Sir?
Yeah, the statement that the Prime Minister made in the House Assembly talking about revoking your bail, when did that come into effect?
Well, it is an amendment, so amendment calls for debate and passage by the two houses of Parliament.
Okay, I understand that. But you're talking about the martial law. Isn't that something that they could just sign with a stroke of a pen and say?
Yeah, the Prime Minister need only advise the Governor General to sign the state of emergency, and then once that is done, then martial law kicks in.
No, but I'm not only talking about the martial law. I'm talking about with the revoking of the bail.
Well, in this case, it is an amendment to the Bail Act. So that is a matter that must be debated by the House of Assembly and the Senate and passed by both of them
I
before.
understand, you know, Brother Montgomery.
Okay, so what is it?
What
You don't
I'm
understand.
saying is that how many more lives are going to be lost time is this done passed?
But it's still a process.
You are a PLP, you sit on their council, ask the PLP.
Yeah, that's a process.
Okay?
God
Okay.
bless you, my friend.
Take care. Thank you, caller. Yeah. 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Good evening, Mr. Roll, Mr. Monter.
Good evening.
Yes. I'm calling please. I'd like for you, Mr. Monter, in particular, to request a certain individual in Abaco to please stop posting law enforcement when they're about to do their jobs in the islands or whatever it is they're doing. I think it's not right and it's illegal to record someone without their permission, particularly people who are in government and carrying out a mandate. You know, He's a wannabe journalist. I don't want to call his name, but I think you know who it is. Talking about. There's a video that's circulating with him recording government employees and officials, okay, while they're about to carry out their work. All right?
Okay.
And please admonish him to stop that. It does not look right, and he has a opinion. Man needs to exhibit proper mannerisms and intellectuals.
Are you in Abaco?
Please, sir? No, I'm not in Abaco. I'm
Okay.
in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So,
If you are able to share with me what he is passing, what he's publishing, I would then be able to make a judgment call.
certainly, sir, I'll send that to you.
I thank you. All right.
Thank
Thank you,
Have a
ma'am.
good evening.
You
Okay.
too. Take care. Bye-bye. 323-777. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hello, Bradley.
Yes, sir.
Rodney Monte, how you doing?
Right here, sir.
I'm calling from Inagua.
Welcome.
Yes. Bradley, I continue to text your phone. My name is Harold Seymour.
Okay.
We have a serious problem here in Inagua when it comes down to we don't have anything at the clinic here.
Anything like what?
I'm talking about medication.
Really?
Okay.
No medication at the clinic here for the last month.
Okay.
Okay? Old age pensioners, old people, they don't have high blood pressure pills here at the clinic. They're in dire need, and I was trying to get you to let you know, to try to see if you could talk to Dr. Dabo, Mr. Monka.
Yes.
Saying in this matter, this is a serious matter here. And some of these people here, they don't have people in Nassau even to spend for their medication there in Nassau. We don't have anything here at the clinic here.
Who is the member of parliament?
And, well, as you know, Mr. McIntosh, Basil McIntosh,
Have you been in contact with him?
well, you know, he lost, so. But I would like for you to deal with Dr. McDowell on this matter, please.
Send me a list of the medication that you understand is not there, and I shall make it my duty to pass it on to Dr. Dabble.
Mr. Monka, believe me, the list will be too long. We don't have anything here at this time right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
We in urgent need here at Inagua right now at this clinic here.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. That's so unfortunate.
I'll let Dr. Dowell know.
And Super General Weiser,
Yes, sir.
check your phone. I try to text you every day. This Mr. Seymour, Harold Seymour.
Harold Seymour? Okay.
Yeah, if you look, you will see where I continue to try to get the doctor.
All right, so I'll pass this information on. All right, you're welcome.
You all have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Take care. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Good evening, Mr. Monkan.
Good evening, sir.
I'm calling from Freeport.
Okay.
What I trying to get, I sent my wife to the place where you get your voucher.
Okay.
I'm bedridden
Okay.
for the last 4 years.
Okay.
They keep telling her they come into the house to see me, and then you reach out,
And
there was no voucher.
what?
I was trying to find out what I should do.
Well, let's start off by. You want to tell my producer your name privately and your phone number, or you want to say it openly and I'll send it to Miles Laroda? Which one you want to do?
I could tell it to your producer.
Okay, Mr. Producer, I hope you have a pen and a paper. Take down this gentleman's name and his number, and I will forward it to Miles Laroda. Also, say where your address is, okay?
Okay.
You do well, and we'll see how we can best help you, okay?
Yeah, but my house roof leaking, and they tell me they were going to fix it from last year.
You put all of that in, give him all of that. Who's your member of parliament?
In Pine Ridge,
Okay, you don't know his name, eh?
the woman,
Is it Ginger Moxie?
yeah, Ginger Moxie.
Tell him to put Ginger Moxie name down as well, and we'll see how best we can get it to Miles Laroda and Ginger Moxie.
They already been to this house, and they,
I know, we'll send it to them again and say to them they have to deal with the matter. How does it sound?
they don't just come come and then go and tell you this and that.
I know.
When you call the office, you can't get them for next month.
I'm going to send it to 2 ministers. Send me the information. Let's test it, okay? Miles LaRoda, Ginger Moxie. I like Miles LaRoda, and Ginger is my favorite, person.
I told Brave about it. Brave been to my house.
Okay.
Because he is my friend from when I was young in Nassau.
Well, I'll put that in it, that the Prime Minister is your former childhood friend. All of that I will put in it. Just give the information to the producer, okay?
Okay.
Don't hang up and talk to him privately. Your name, your cell number, where you live. All right? Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Ezekiel, I've not heard from you.
I like this.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. They came and they fixed my life.
I'm happy to hear that.
And I like to shout out to all the nurses and the doctors that deal with me.
Yes.
And they treat me like first queen, a king.
Yes.
I like to shout to all of them. And to everybody that knows these details, all the citizens, the second to the shot, and people in the hour for and the man in Front Valley. They give us the spiritual advice, be strong and still and watch the conviction of the Lord. And as long as Christ is in vessel, you smile at this.
Amen.
The man don't believe he both in his heart believes in him. And David, you have never seen the righteous forsaken.
Amen.
He is for bread. Just watch the salvation of the Lord. You all have a blessed night.
Thank you so much.
Ezekiel, better known as. This is powerful.
All right, take care. 323-775 is the number to call. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you doing?
We're fine. How you doing?
Mongo.
So,
As long as you don't crime, if we don't put a stop for it, then this crime is destroy this country going on.
This is true.
I think what the government needs to do is find all these hotspots, and at least know where these hotspots are, right?
yes.
Put some police undercover. Find out all these guys who are hanging together doing other nonsense.
Yes.
I don't think we need to catch them and crime out to log them up. We need to do is lock up all of them for 2 months and see how crime is going to cease in this island.
Wow.
Just try it. We can try something.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Mr. Rowe last night, all like a wild, that's why his gunshots all around there. So we
Wow.
got to put a stop to this. I mean, I don't know what we need to do, but I think we need to just lock up everybody who we think is feeling crime for at least 2 months and let's see what happens.
Wow.
Plenty guns on the streets.
Who's your MP?
Mr. Monk, Robert Wells was my MP.
Who?
Right now, the PLC lady in Babutan is my MP. But I'm not a PLC lawyer for them. I'm a Bahamian, and I love
As a Bahamian, I want you to speak to your member of parliament.
Mr. Monka, you don't believe me, Mr. Monka. As simple and as strong as you are, I respect you more than I respect 90% of these politicians.
I know that. I'm the leader of the people, but I'm asking you to speak with her. She's a wonderful woman. She will give you a listening ear, and you can explain to her some of the frustration and some of the powerful suggestion which you have just given us a few minutes ago.
I agree with you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do well,
You're
my brother.
welcome. Take care. 323-775 is the number to call. Okay, 698-0775 and 698-0776. Okay, we don't have any calls on the line.
Okay.
All right, so I have the information for the young man who called with his cell phone number, where he lives, roof leaking. Okay. He's bedridden. Okay.
You have the information. Why don't you forward it to Minister Miles LaRoda?
Okay.
And then you can also share it with Minister Ginger.
I don't have Ginger contact.
Then you share it with me. Okay?
All right. Miles LaRoda. There you go. All right, I sent that to him.
Right.
Okay.
And you send
Who
the
else?
other one for Miss Ginger.
Who else you want me to send to besides Mr. LaRoda?
Well, you don't have Ginger Moxie's number.
Okay, good.
So send it to me. I'll send it to her
Okay.
at a time. Do we have
All right.
another call?
Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm good.
Great.
I just want to find out about what about the cat nine tails for these murderers?
What do you suggest? What do you think we should give them?
I suggest the cat nine tails if they can't hang.
Okay. Well, I think we should continue to push for hanging. Okay? Hanging is on the book. What constituency do you live in?
Okay.
What constituency do you live in? Hello?
Golden Gate?
Then you must talk to your member of parliament. Isn't she Miss Glover Roll?
Yes, she is.
She's a wonderful woman.
A good MP.
Pardon?
She's a good MP.
So you must speak with her, sit her down, she's a young lady, and have a woman-to-woman talk with her. Tell her the murders are too much, and you are calling on her to push for capital punishment.
Okay.
All right? And you let me know how the conversation go.
Okay, I will.
Do well, my love. Be safe.
Thanks.
Okay? Do we have another caller, Mr. Producer?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Monka.
All right. What's on your mind?
I'm doing good. Mr. Monka,
Yes?
listen. A lot of people is talking about undercover. This island is too small to do undercover. It ain't like you say you can have folks come from Detroit, Washington, go down to Miami, go to Chicago, go.
Right.
All those places. But the Bahamas is so small. Let me tell you the privilege is to Wendy to outgo training.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to try and sue all the policemen and training.
Okay.
So that's impossible to do here to say to do undercover.
Okay.
That's hard to do. You agree with that?
No, I don't totally agree with you. There are some undercovering that might be difficult, but there are many good ways by which we can do undercover work.
Give me one. Give me one.
Well, there is a certain woman who remains undercover,
Oh, okay.
and you will never be able to tell that she's undercover.
Unless you
Yeah.
look under the cover.
Okay?
But see, another thing is we need to carry the punishment out that is fitting for the crime.
Now you are correct.
Because if we don't put fear in the hearts of these young people,
Yes?
Yeah.
by giving Steph Kennedy,
Yes.
these young guys between 17 and 35 will continue to do what they're doing.
That is true. You
But
must.
there's nothing to grip your heart.
That is
and
true.
the Scripture, Bible can tell you this in the book of Deuteronomy.
Yes.
The Bible said, and they shall hear and fear and do no more.
That is true. So you
And
must.
said, because sentence against an evil work is now carried speedily.
That
the
is true.
hearts of men are set into the evil.
Yeah.
That is true.
And then you look at sons and daughters. They ain't working,
Yes.
but they could be bringing cell phone, television,
Yeah.
giving gifts
Yeah.
to their parents. And
Yeah.
they're not working the lick.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem we have in this country.
Well, you have
Yeah.
to talk to your MP. What constituency do you live in?
Well, I'm down in Golden Hours with one. I have no problem down there.
Well, talk to Warren Miller and speak to him and let him know that we need tougher laws. Okay?
Two more calls?
They and everybody called the talk show and saying that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. We got to take some other calls. Thank you. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live. Go ahead, caller. You're live. Are you there, caller? Okay, that caller's gone. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Hi. How are you doing?
We're
Mr.
doing well.
Marshall?
We're
doing well.
fine.
Thank
We're
you.
fine.
That's wonderful. I'm calling from the storm rescue units of the 118 here in Nassau, Bahamas.
You calling from where?
The storm rescue unit for the SI Weather Network here in Nassau, Bahamas.
Okay.
I had to get into this conversation because of one of your callers.
All right.
When we talk about persons recording police officers,
Right.
and I do agree that sometimes they do impede the process of investigations and so forth.
Right.
Okay.
However, to that caller, if you look at roadblocks or whatever is going on in the country, they have various groups on social media that are sharing these locations.
Okay.
So it does kill the officers' initiatives.
Yes.
And that is going to require the police to do some serious analysis on how they handle these situations.
Right.
You know, we just had roadblocks last night. Do we have roadblocks again tonight?
Okay.
You have to space it out. How do we solve the crime problem? Well, first of all, we need to get back into these schools. We need to have conflict resolution.
Right.
We need to have everything in place that was what we had years ago.
Yes.
Capital punishment.
Yes.
I know as a kid, we heard about people getting hanged.
Right.
We have to get back to that. We have to strike the fear back into the heart of these criminals.
Absolutely.
There's no consequence.
Yes.
If you can get out on bail for 3 months after murder, we have a problem.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Whether it's murder, armed robbery, whatever you do, you're creating a problem for the system.
Right.
And it overflows. Persons like us who do rescue and paramedic work, we have to deal with it. The
Yes.
hospitals have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're denying certain things because you've decided to pick up a gun because you have a problem with Tommy Jones around the corner, and you can go shoot him and kill him.
Yeah.
So we have to figure this out as Bahamians.
We
We
have
have to go
to.
back to home.
That's where it
Let the village
starts.
rage the kids.
That's where it starts.
So just wanted to put that in there for
We
you.
appreciate.
support your
Yeah,
position.
we appreciate your
Do
contribution.
well, remain strong and faithful to the cause.
Definitely,
All
definitely.
right. Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great.
Great.
I want to address something that favored to the Senator. His support of the Haitian people, our brothers and sisters from the South, is admirable. But my issue with his support is this. His favorite saying is that the Haitians do not want to be here. They want to go to the United States. But the thing is this. Then the Haitian goes to the United States and commit a felony. They are transferred back to the last place is from.
Yeah, the country of origin, yeah, wherever they came from.
But the thing is, if they are stationed in the Bahamas and they go to the United States and commit crime, they're still stationed here. But they come back here and add burdens on top of burdens. I have no problem with my brothers and sisters in the past, as long as they come the right way.
This is
That's
true.
all the average Bahamian
Is asking
to
for.
Bahamian thing.
Yeah,
Come the right way.
absolutely.
Let us know who is in this country. And most of these crimes are being on what I said are not solely that of the one disease. So, spiritual advisor, I thank you for standing up for us, because we need to leave a legacy for our children.
Absolutely. I agree.
And so the spiritual advisor, the senator needs to
We get one more call?
come back around, because if you look at on Sunday, a whole boatload came in Nagua.
Sunday?
There's no end to this meeting.
Hold on a second. We had a boatload came in on Sunday?
Yeah,
Really?
in Nagua.
And where are they now?
They should be in Nagua.
Really? They
Yeah,
ca-
you need to check it. You should know.
I've not heard that. It's one of the best kept secret.
Yeah, thank
So let's clean up the country, man.
Yes.
Let's get this country for the
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, caller. We appreciate
Thank you
you.
very much.
right.
Besame.
Take care.
Est-ce que ou sa ou tande dimanche passé yon gros pato ap vini nan Inagwa ak an pil Haitien, mi pa kone sa.
Yeah, but what you need to know that for?
Ma pa kone sa.
Yeah, what you need to know that for, though?
Because I'm in journalism, Negro.
Thank you.
Tout moun, komaye, salutande, dimanche passé ya, yon gros bateau, avini na Inagua, avec un pile moun yo, Haitien.
Yeah, immigration can be tout moun.
Ok, nan se la, c'est pour nous respecter ya.
Immigration can be tout moun.
Bunde sauve wa, God save the king. Bunde sauve tout Haitien yo.